Hey everyone, welcome to the God Made Self-Driven podcast. This is Dustin. This is a podcast where we talk about the transformative powers of faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun through the lives of everyday people. We're rooted in a Catholic worldview. However, we welcome all people from different backgrounds and beliefs through a spirit of curiosity, unity, and inspiration. Today I'm excited. I have a friend of mine, Mr. Craig Henry. Some of y'all may know him as Fat Cat. He's been supporting my ministry now for almost going on 8 years already. He's just been a great mentor, a brother in Christ, and someone that's really been just a great encourager to me. And so I'm just, glad to kind of formally introduce y'all. And it's gonna be a good day. Mr. Craig, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Been doing a lot of cooking?
More than I want sometimes. But yes, it's all good. Yeah, I'm doing a lot. Yeah.
If you don't know, you will know Mr. Craig's a great cook as well, if you haven't eaten some of his food already. Mm-hmm. But listen, man, I know you as, someone that supports the Catholic world very strongly. And I know you as this great husband and father and whatnot. But I know there was a time before you were a father and before you were a husband. And I know a little bit about your career and whatnot. So maybe give us an elevator speech of how you got to this point in your life, as you know.
Yeah. So I'll take it back to kind of high school years, right?
Yeah.
Never was given the opportunity really to go to college.
Okay.
So college was never in the realm. So I went to work really quick into the restaurant industry. That's part of where the cooking comes from. Fast forward, met a young girl. She was actually the daughter of a manager that worked for me. Fell in love.
Yeah.
At least I thought I did. Got married, had a kid. Ultimately went through a pretty nasty divorce with her. We were living out of state, moved back to Louisiana, and kind of regained my bearings. That divorce actually caused me to file bankruptcy. Oh, wow. Forced me to file bankruptcy, I should say. So I was literally coming home, started with nothing. Wow. I had left my faith too, my Catholic faith, because she was Church of God.
Oh, wow,
and so when I came home, my grandmother, who lived right down the street I was living with my mother, moved back home to live with my mother again. Yeah. Imagine that.
No, I can imagine that.
Was married with a kid, but I had to because I was broke.
Yeah. How old were you at this time?
I was in my 20s, my late 20s.
Okay.
And but my grandmother, she was always the pillar of the Catholic faith in our family. And so she, would keep spoon feeding me stuff about the Catholic faith again. But I never really came back. I was kind of mad and angry at God. I was like, why did this happen? Mm-hmm. And anyway, then I met my wife, now Jamie.
Yeah.
She actually came to work for a company that I was running and was a secretary up front, and she was married, and and just we started socializing as a company together. Well, me not knowing that she was going through some turmoil in her marriage.
Wow, okay.
And so when she came to work for our company, I think it gave her the freedom to say I can go out on my own, because she was in a pretty bad marriage herself.
Yeah.
And so she ultimately left her husband, got a divorce, and I had kept telling myself that I would never introduce my son Stephen to anyone who could not possibly be, quote unquote, his mother or stepmother. So long story short, I needed a date. My roommate was getting married, and I needed a date. And so I asked her, and the rest is history. We'll be married 25 years in June.
Come on, man.
But I grew up in a Decatur parish. I grew up in a real rural area, Midland. A lot of people, when I say Midland, Midland, Texas. Yeah. And it's like, no, Midland, Louisiana.
Did you go to Midland High School?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, were they really good in basketball back then too?
They were really good in basketball back then too.
Okay.
Yeah, they still are.
Yeah.
They always up there. Yeah. But in Midland at the time, it was basketball and track.
Yeah.
They didn't offer anything else. So now they offer baseball, softball and baseball. But a lot of people think that I went to Notre Dame.
Okay.
Because I hung out with all of the Notre Dame crowd. In fact, Notre Dame has had the class of '86, and Notre Dame has had several reunions. And I've been on the committee to organize the reunions and been to every reunion and never even went to school there.
No way.
Yeah, in fact, we just had our reunion about 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I graduated in '86, and then We when I met Jamie, we migrated towards Lafayette,
Okay.
and still not really in my faith
Yeah.
much. She was, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then we put our daughter at Fatima
Okay.
in pre-K, and Father Michael Russo was there, and that's
Wow.
where things started to change.
And what year was that? Would that have been?
So you're gonna get me the line
I
here
know.
now. My
I know. It's
daughter is
okay.
23,
Yeah.
so yeah, she would have
Almost
been
20.
7. So yeah, whatever that
Yeah.
is.
But yeah,
Yeah,
15, 17
yeah.
years ago.
But no, I can remember very vividly. You know, he had a very strict set of rules in every pew card about how you should dress,
Oh,
and everything he would do, he would say I'd do the opposite. Like
yeah.
I'd show up in shorts and flip flops, and because I was like, you know.
Yeah. Like,
But
come on.
anyway,
Yeah. I
his
understand.
homilies were so poignant. It's so
Yeah.
I felt like they were just.
Yeah.
He was directing them. It was like God speaking to him through him to me.
Yeah.
And then finally, when the light switch flipped, I got it, and then I
Man,
went all in.
you took the baton and ran.
Went all in, yeah.
What was that? What was that moment? What was it? Was it something happened, or just your heart felt what your head knew, or your head felt
Well,
what your heart
it
knew?
was a combination of things. My daughter was going to make her first communion, and I did not want her. Me and my wife had got married
Yeah.
at the time because of my faith. We got married in Vegas. It was a Christian-based wedding,
Right.
but it
Yeah. But
wasn't
yeah. You
anything.
Yeah.
It was spiritually based, I should say.
Correct.
And I didn't want her to ask questions. Well, why is everybody else's parents receiving communion? And I knew that we couldn't.
Yeah.
So because we had both been through a divorce, we had to go through the annulment process. Now, I didn't have to actually get an annulment because my marriage was not in the Catholic Church and it was not blessed in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
But Jamie went through it, and we were lucky because Monsignor Russell Harrington, who's a lifelong family friend, was in charge of the tribunal at the time at the diocese. And so he helped us with the paperwork.
Yeah.
So there was, back then, it took a lot longer to get
Yeah,
an
it's
annulment than it
different.
does today.
Yeah.
But because our paperwork was in line, because he was in charge, it went through pretty quick. And she didn't have any kids in her marriage. And so it was a pretty easy
Cut and dry
cut and
situation.
dry situation. So we ended up getting our marriage blessed at the church in Mirror, which is I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but something Immaculate Conception.
Oh, and that's today.
That's today, yeah.
Today's the feast day. Yeah.
And so that's when it clicked.
Yeah.
And then I started receiving communion. I started like really getting into my faith. In other words, like Father Michael Russo does this catechesis mass where he goes through the entire mass
Okay.
on why we do what we do as Catholics and where does it come from in the Bible, and step by step. And he does it like once every quarter, maybe. Well, as I'm getting back into my faith, I go to this mass and then I start putting things together. Like, oh, this is why we do this. And it became, I understand it, I believe it, and I want to participate versus that don't make no sense to me. Why are we doing that, you know? And then then I was introduced to Legatus right around the same time. This is 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And introduced to Legatus and then joined Legatus.
Yeah. Well, for the people out there that don't understand, what is Legatus?
Legatus is a Catholic organization that was founded by Tom Monahan, who's the founder of Domino's Pizza, and with the blessing of then Pope John Paul II.
Okay.
Tom was in YPO, which is, a lot of people may not know what YPO is, Young Professionals Organization. It's the who's who of business people. But at the time, at 50, you had to get out of YPO. They have since changed it now where you can stay in later. So Tom didn't, he's like, well, why can't I just start my own organization, but for Catholics, based around the YPO model.
Yeah.
And so long story short, Legatus means ambassador in Latin. And it's a place for Catholic business leaders to meet once a month. And we start out with mass, confession. Then we have a really nice dinner and a really good speaker.
Yeah.
And it's to bring you closer together as business people.
Yeah.
But also it's a safe place because Legatus is not a place where you can solicit or anything like. In fact, you've been as my guest. You
I've been.
understand.
Yep.
It's kind of like you can be there with like-minded business people, and it's no
I can
pressure.
say it. You can be around people that don't want nothing from you.
Exactly.
They don't need nothing from you.
They don't want
I
nothing
mean,
from you.
just
Exactly.
being honest, yeah.
Uh,
And y'all can kind of work towards y'all business ventures together and whatnot.
it's a networking,
Yeah.
but it's not about as soon as you meet somebody, what can I sell them? It's just you build a friendship, and then you start to build trust, and people are like, well, if I'm going to give business to someone, I'm going to give somebody I trust, and then we got like-minded business.
That's right.
And so we joined Legatus and started hanging around with like-minded business people. I was in business at the time too, and my business. I was in the trucking business at the time.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a great segue. So in your 20s, you were in the restaurant business, and then you went to the trucking?
No, so I left the restaurant business in my 20s and went into the construction business, believe it or not, because my wife wanted to move closer to her family at the time. And so we were in Montgomery, Alabama. I was in the restaurant business. I was going to get a promotion to be promoted to a regional manager for this large chain. And she's like, I don't want to move again. I want to move closer to my family. So her grandfather offered me a job in the construction industry, which was ultimately house moving.
Okay.
Lots of hard work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And, we had a plan where I'd possibly take the business over. And long story short, we got divorced before anything that could transpire. So when I moved back, I didn't know what I was going to do. A friend of mine owned a restaurant in Crowley. He's like, hey, man, just get out. Just come help me. I can't pay you much, but just get your mind going. And I did. Yeah. He and I had worked together when I was in the restaurant business back at Burger Time.
Okay.
When Burger Time was a big thing here in Lafayette. And I ultimately went back into the construction business. I was working for a company that was building modular buildings for offshore industry, blast buildings for petrochemical and refining plants. That business had some issues. The two partners split up. One of the partners went out, started the same business with another guy that we were all working together.
Oh, wow.
And then I was left with, what am I going to do? And I got offered a job at a trucking company.
Okay.
And went to work for them and just helped blow that business up. Well, the friends that went back into the business, I was doing a lot of transportation for them. And it was just growing and growing and growing. And they said, hey, you really need to go on your own. Break away from where you're at, and we'll support you, get you started, which ultimately they did. And I'll get to the end of that because it ended kind of in a negative way, negative light to some degree. But anyway, I was in the business, and their business was growing, my business was growing, and I was coming into lots of money.
Yeah. And
it was Legatus and my faith really drew me in at the right time because I had bankrupt.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a lot of things to prove to people.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do it all with prideful things, material things.
Yeah.
I mean, everything you could imagine that somebody with money wanted, I had to go buy it just to say I had it.
I remember when you first lined, you told me or something. It was like, yeah, I just used to just bulldoze my way through things.
Yeah. Yeah. And, if somebody had something, I wanted the better one, the nicer one. Yeah. And I lived my life like that for quite some time.
Yeah.
But I went into business for myself in 2006.
Okay.
And so we're 6-7 years later coming into the faith, and I was drinking a lot when I was in between 2006 and 2013. When I say drinking a lot, I mean half gallon of rum every other night. Wow. I was out of control. I was out of control in a lot of ways.
Yeah, not just some nightcaps.
Exactly. Wow. Spent a lot of time in Houston. But with that said, I come from a family of drinkers. My dad drank very heavily. My brother drank very heavily. Ultimately, it was part of the reason why he passed away. My best friend was a very heavy drinker. He passed away from alcohol. Wow. And again, I think faith had something to do with it, but I realized that I couldn't keep going down that path because I would lose another wife and be away from my kids again. Yeah. Now, my wife, Jamie, never mentioned anything about it. We never really had issues about it, but it was the unspoken things that God was giving me the grace to see and hear, or things she would do to make me realize, okay, something's got to change here. I just woke up one morning and said, I'm done with the rum.
No
And
way.
I quit cold turkey. I still drink,
Yeah.
but I drink only red wine. I would drink vodka or beer on occasion, but I like wine because that's something that sends me into these realms of
It's a real thing,
intoxication.
yeah.
It's just more of a casual, whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah. People out there know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then I had, like I said, in Legatus, I had the opportunity to meet Tom Monahan. If anybody don't know anything about Tom Monahan, I suggest you just
Go to
Google
him.
him. I mean, the man has done some remarkable things in his life, not only in business, but within his faith.
Yeah.
And he took a liking to me. And my grandparents both my grandfathers were passed away. And so it's kind of like he was that figure that I could lean on or go to for advice. And honestly, a lot of things that he has given me is not things that he really truly directed towards me. It's just the things that he's said in conversations or the things that he has done in the way he lives his life to make me understand, okay,
this is how you do it.
This is how you do it. And if it would grab my interest, then I'd go and have a conversation. I'd ask him about it,
Yeah.
But he'd put some bugs in my ears pretty early in life, because I think he felt like he made a lot of mistakes, because when he owned Domino's, he owned a lot of stuff. He owned the Detroit Tigers. They won the World Series.
Wow.
He had one of the largest private wine collections in the U.S. He had back then, the cars he had in his collection, people, just a lot of things. And he started shucking off, getting rid of this stuff, because he realized that it was not getting him closer to heaven. It was actually pulling him further away. Wow. And one day he made a comment to me. He says, how much of this stuff are you trying to accumulate? He said, because you do realize none of that is going to get your wife and kids to heaven. And I had never thought about getting my wife and kids to heaven. I hadn't even thought really about getting myself to heaven at that point. I mean, because I'm just getting back into my faith. Heaven is not even something that I think is obtainable.
Talking about, yeah.
And that stuck. And then things just started, God's graces started slowly but surely creeping into my heart in different ways. And I started acting different. Acted different because I wasn't drinking all the time.
Right.
But started attending Mass, started attending Holy Day avocations. But another thing too, back to Legatus, I went on a Legatus conference the first year we joined Legatus.
Okay.
And it was at, I'm drawn to the big basilica in Orlando. Anyway, we go there and they're having confessions. And at the time we were with our two business partners and their wives. And I hadn't been to confession. I had my marriage blessed, but for some reason or another was never asked to go to confession. And I had never been to back to confession since as a teen.
Yeah,
And so I realized that, okay, my marriage was really not, if I didn't say a confession, is my marriage really valid?
Right.
And so anyway, they said, we're going to confession as a group since we're business partners. And I was like, I'm not going face to face for the first time in 20 something years.
Yeah. And
my business partner, Troy, at the time said, yeah, we are. Let's go. And so he went, found the priest, and they were hearing, there were several hundred people.
Yeah.
Like I said, actually a couple of thousand people at this place. And so there's priests everywhere hearing confessions before Mass starts. And so he goes first. And at the time he had 14 kids. Some biological, some adopted.
Yeah.
And he goes to confession almost on a daily basis. On a weekly basis. And it seems like it's for an eternity he's sitting with this priest.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, Lord have mercy. If he goes on a regular basis, and it's just,
they might have to shut this place down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so end up going to confession.
Yeah.
Literally felt like the weight of the world come off my shoulders. That night laying in bed is when I realized okay, all of this is real.
Yeah.
All of this is happening because it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, why me? Why me? And, I've mentioned this before, but, you know, Jamie I was in a position and Jamie's like, you want to walk the walk or you want to talk the talk?
Yeah.
And that night, laying in bed at that hotel, it was the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando. I'll never forget it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk the walk and I'm gonna talk the talk. And so that's where it's kind of led to,
Yeah.
And when I jumped in with my faith, I guess you would say I have an addictive personality because I went from
Yeah.
the alcohol to my Catholic faith
Yeah.
and just went all in and
S-
truly living it.
Yeah. So that's so funny you say that. One of the guys we interviewed, his name's Justin Aber. He's a dietitian and a fitness guy. And one of the things he said, he's like, we can look at addictions in a different way, not as a curse, but as a treasure. Because once we direct that type of trait somewhere to something good, he said, powerful things can happen,
Right.
unbelievable things can happen. It kind of sounds
Yeah.
like what you did. You just directed that personality trait
Right.
towards a higher good, and
Right.
look,
Yeah.
look what's happening.
And, just things started happening in my life. And as things are happening, I'm making more and more money. I'm involved in two different businesses now, one in Mexico
Wow.
and one in the
Yeah.
U.S. And okay, then I'm like, how do I make an exit strategy here?
Yeah.
But
And I guess before we go into
Yeah.
the exit strategy, and you kind of talk about how you developed your faith. And there's gonna be some young guys out here that I know are listening that are trying to make their way and provide for their families and whatnot. And maybe entrepreneurs, may not be. How did you? I know you said you just kind of bulldozed your way, but like on maybe a simplified level, how did you get to the point of growing this trucking business? What are some things you can remember you did that were very strategic? And then how did you leverage it into, I know some of the things you got into
Right.
Mexico. Can you
So,
kind of maybe
yeah.
explain that a little bit, as much as you can?
I'm gonna explain it. It's very simple.
Yeah.
When I went through my bankruptcy, and I came back home, no college degree, broke. And so I started somewhat praying, but I'm thinking, how do I leverage myself and me with no degree? And I really don't want to go back into the restaurant business. I don't want to live that life. And so I read something somewhere where you hang around with people who are smarter than you and make more money than you, and you're gonna emulate what they do.
That's right.
And so I started looking for people to associate with. In other words, like people to go hang out with, as business people who own businesses. I didn't just want to go hang out at a bar with buddies who were working 9 to 5s. And so I surrounded myself with really smart, successful people. And that brought me into relationships that helped me become successful in business or give me opportunities to be more successful in business. And then when I joined Legatus, it just reaffirmed, you don't have to have a degree and you don't have to have, the resume to back everything up. What you have to have is a good heart, and you got to be sincere and you got to be honest. And my grandfather used to always say, that's something nobody can ever take away is honesty. You're the only one who can mess that up. And when you shake a man's hand, you
mean what you say. Yeah.
And so I started living my life in business that way. I say this all the time. I was never the cheapest when I was in the trucking business, but I give the best service. I mean, and I operated my business a lot different than most other trucking companies. We force dispatched. I mean, if you wanted to work for me, if the money was coming in, you got to go get it. Not about, well, I don't want it today. I want it tomorrow, A lot of this stigma, make enough just to get by. That wasn't my motto.
Yeah.
Another thing too, that changed my trajectory of my business. And when I hired people, I treated them right.
Yeah.
I paid them well. Because what I didn't want was them to feel like I was the only one making a lot of money and I was doing all these things, leaving and traveling and doing all the stuff with my family, and they're making all the money for me to do that, and they felt like they were getting shorted.
Yeah.
So I treated them like partners.
Yeah.
And so the more I made, the more they made. So
That's awesome.
but I got all that stuff from good business people. I mean, I've seen what other business people were doing. Successful companies are successful because they treat the employees good, and the employees want to perform to the best of their ability. They're not there just to draw a check. So yeah, uh, that's that was a big factor. Ultimately, that's how I ended up in the second business.
Yeah.
One of my
Explain that one.
customers,
Okay.
one of my biggest customers in the trucking business, one of the owners of that company, who is now I consider my best friend.
Yeah.
He lost my train of thought real quick, but yeah, he's the one who came to me and said, "Hey, look, man, are you?" I had been telling him, "Look, man, I want to kind of diversify a little bit because
Yeah.
trucking business, I had all field side and I had this office in Houston where we catered to heavy haul. It's very up and down business, certain time of the year, and so I wanted to diversify. And he's like, "Well, I got this opportunity. You want to take a look at it?" And it was a food distribution company based in the U.S., but almost everything that they sold was to a Mexican entity.
Okay.
And so I took a look at it, and it was a substantial investment. And so ultimately we invested. And I started going to Mexico to meet with our largest client, big Catholic family,
Really?
and started with the mom started the bakery out of her kitchen in Hermosillo, Mexico. And today they're probably over just shy of 400 stores throughout the U.S. and Mexico.
Come on.
But long story short, got really close to those guys.
Yeah.
The Esparza family is some of the best people I know from Mexico. And, Mexico has a big stigma about all this other stuff. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
What the stigma about Mexico is so all of that stuff is there,
Yeah.
but it's not
It's not all of it.
It's not prominent as you think it is.
Yeah.
But anyway,
What's the family's name again?
Esparzas.
Esparza.
Yeah.
Cool. If anyone out
yeah.
there that want to go to the store or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the name of the store is called Suspiros.
Okay.
And they get some in the U.S.
Okay.
They're actually opening some in Texas now. But we ultimately became partners with them because they wanted to grow the business. We knew that if we invested with them, then it would secure them buying all their stuff from us, which it ultimately did.
Wow.
And we helped them grow it. We had just shy of, I think, 60 stores that we owned with them. And then it just grew, and it's like I said, it's several hundred stores now. But ultimately, one of our partners wanted to get out, and we saw COVID coming. They really didn't, and they had a private equity group that was looking to buy. And so, long story short, in about January, February of what it was,
I remember we got talked about this. Yeah.
COVID was hit hard in March, and we
Yeah.
sold in February. Yeah. They ultimately shut some stores down.
Yeah.
And look, the truth is we sold that business and we made some money, but we didn't make what we thought we would make.
Gotcha.
Or I didn't make what I thought I would make.
Yeah,
You know how you envision things just
100%.
transpired by the time we converted the peso to the dollar and just all this
Yeah,
other
it's a lot of stuff people don't realize,
The
yeah.
egg, the nest egg wasn't as big as you thought it would be, right?
Right.
But right about, so that was in, what was COVID? What year was that? I'm trying to,
Right after
2020.
2020, yeah, but
Right.
right after 2019.
right. So I'm going to back up a little bit. Around 2015, the trucking company was blowing and doing well. I had invested all of my assets into this one customer because, again, it was two really good friends. Invested all my assets into this one customer because they were so big. We were doing so much. And I was bankrolling all of these invoices and these trucking bills on my own. I wasn't leased. I didn't have any trucks leased to anybody. I carried
All
everything.
the trucks were yours, yeah.
Well, I didn't own the trucks. I had owner operators, but
Got you.
I carried all the paper. And some of these jobs were huge jobs. I'm talking about $250,000 jobs. And so I had to front a lot of money to be able to accommodate this customer.
Yeah.
The two partners got basically in a spat. And if you really look back, it's because me and one of the partners, he invited me in Legatus. He was my business partner in Mexico. And we were growing in our faith together. And we were living our faith together. We would travel together with our wives and our families.
Yeah.
And everything was faith oriented, centered.
Yeah.
Exactly. The other guy had no faith. Great guy,
Yeah.
but just
I just couldn't. There was no synergy in that area. There was
no.
no.
And he
Yeah.
got jealous.
Yeah.
He really got jealous, and he basically told his other partner, "We're going to start our own trucking company." And the other partner's like, "Well, what about Fat Cat? I mean, he's got all." He's like, "Well, he's making all this money," and he's like, "Yeah, but he's making money because we're making money, but you know, he helped us get to where we're at." You know,
Yeah.
if he wouldn't have put all of his assets, because we worked together, you know, they'd come to me because they handled everything when they built a product. They handled everything from production to installation
Okay.
because their buildings were in blast areas.
Okay.
And so for them to warranty their product, they want to ensure that the building was not compromised anywhere from
Point A to point B.
exactly. And so I was their guy because, you know, we were talking about big, huge, high, tall, wide stuff.
Yeah, these things can't break or drop or
you can't run into a bridge or anything like that and break a weld or anything.
Yeah.
And that has happened, and it happened with me
Yeah.
doing it too. I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, they started fighting, and then it literally within about 6 months, I was going from doing around $8 million a year in business with this company to zero.
Oh wow.
And so
That's
it was
a
a
change.
big awakening. And I'll never forget it. That was in 2015. I went on an Acts retreat, and that was my fourth retreat or fifth retreat that year. And on that Acts retreat, I was just praying. I didn't know why I was going to Acts retreat. I didn't want to go. I felt like I didn't need to go.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and then I started hearing these stories, and people give talks, and it started resonating. And I had just quit drinking hard liquor.
Wow.
And so I'm hearing these people who have struggled with addiction and how the Holy Spirit guided them back to something bigger and better and beautiful. And I'll never forget, I was sitting at my table, and an older gentleman across from him, Mr. Dan, we started these brief conversations during breaks and stuff. And he's like, he could tell something was playing on my heart, you know. And I told him, I said, you know, I think retirement may be in the books for me right now. He's like, how old are you? I said, I'm 50. Can you do that? I says, I don't know if I can financially. I think I can.
Yeah.
But I know where I need to be if I'm going to change who I need to be the best version of myself as a husband and a father to my kids. If I want to change this path of addiction and the life that I live that I'm really not very fond of to something that I can give my kids bigger and better in regards to faith, I want to do that. And so against a lot of people's suggestions, I retired. And we still had the business in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I was living on that to some degree.
Yeah.
And then we sold the business. And again, like I said, we didn't sell it for what I thought we would sell it for.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking back at it and I'm like, okay, well, I think I got enough money, but what is really enough in today's day and age? Well, where I went wrong is we were living this life of, we didn't have budgets. We just lived because we could, because I was making that kind of money. Well, we went from living like that to
have to have some type of budget.
You got to have some type of budget.
Yeah.
Because now I got, at the time, it was 2 kids in the Catholic school and 1 in college. And I didn't have, because I had filed bankruptcy, I didn't have college funds for my kids and all this. So I'm paying for all this stuff. And we're still living like I got all this money coming in. I'm in the racehorse business at the same time. And I got half dozen racehorses going around the country. We're running at, that's a whole nother story. But we're running at the highest level you can run in thoroughbred racing. Actually, me and a guy from, we're in Abbeville right now, but me and a guy from Abbeville, Tyron Picard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's Mr. Cecil Picard. Very well-known name here in Abbeville.
Absolutely.
But me and Tyron were in it together with a couple other people. But so anyway, I had all this outgo with no income. And so here we are 7 years later. My two kids, I only got one left in college, uh, and we're still trying to reel in our spending because
Yeah.
you take so many things for granted when
Yeah.
you don't see it coming and going.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, retiring at 50 was probably one of the craziest things I've ever done in my life, decisions I ever made. But it's one of the best things I ever think. But it's the hardest decision I ever made.
I'm sure.
And I'm gonna tell you, people think being retired young and early is all roses.
What you're supposed to be doing.
It's not. I'm just telling you right now. Like today, I'm here, but almost everybody that I know that I'm friends with, they're at work.
Correct.
And so
what do you do?
What do you do? What do you do? That's how Holy Trinity came in, because I was looking for something to pass my time.
Yeah.
Ironically, Kim Boudreaux with Catholic Charity is the one who saw it in me.
Yeah.
Started doing work with them, and now here we are. And my mission has kind of changed.
Yeah.
To some degree, but I'm still trying to change hearts through my love of cooking and through that connection.
Yeah. So you retired 7 years ago?
Yeah.
And then then you got into Holy Trinity Catering. And
Right.
That's your food. That's
Right.
what you're doing now.
That's what I'm doing now. Exactly.
Food.
And when I first started Holy Trinity, I was still in business at the time, so I built a big old beautiful catering trailer, and I go on the road, and we would do disasters for Catholic charities. Lots of big things, schools, retreats. I've done some for you.
Yeah.
And now, because one thing I learned pretty quick is people always say, "Oh man, let me know when you need some help. I'll come help you." So you take on these things thinking you can get volunteers to help you, and then, "Oh, I can't come today because it's Saturday," and
LSU's playing.
LSU's playing.
My son got a game or something.
Exactly.
It's something.
It always became something.
Yeah.
And it became where it was not. It felt like it really wasn't fun because I was. And so I kind of changed my model, because as I'm doing these cooks for retreats and whatnot, these kids are going home and tell their mom, "Hey, man, Mr. Craig or Mr. Fat Cat cooked so-and-so." And the mom was like, "Well, you don't eat that. Well, you don't cook it." And so these moms started texting and calling and saying, "Hey, could you cook this for our family? Because my son loves it. We don't eat that like that often." And it has led to almost kind of like a cult following.
Yeah, I would agree.
For example, now I have 70, I think it's 73, I looked this morning, 73 people in a group.
Yeah, like rotation every month.
Yeah. No, not a rotation. It's 73 people in a group. 99.99% of it is all Catholic moms. Their kids go to Catholic schools, or it's all tied through the Catholic faith.
Yeah.
Whether it's Fatima Pius Cathedral.
Yeah, all of Acadiana.
All of Acadiana. And so what I do is I started out once a week. I decide I'm going to cook an entree. This week it'll be chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
So I sent out to the group, "Hey, I'm cooking on this day. You can order this size pan or this size pan, depending on the size of your family." And almost every week, I get about 2/3 of them respond that they're going to buy something, small or large. And so they pick it up, and at least it gives them one night a week in the heads to relax and sit down as a family with a real meal. They're not going through Chick-fil-A. It's not fast food. And it's a home-cooked meal. And more importantly than that, it's prayed over while I'm cooking it.
Yeah.
I start out with a rosary. I have it set up to now on Spotify where
it will play while you cook.
And I have it repeat. And then I also do a Divine Mercy Chaplain. And then I go from that into my Christian playlist. Yeah. And then when my Christian playlist is over, which is about 2.5 hours, then I go into like classic country or something like that. Yeah. But my point is I'm praying and I'm cooking and most of the time these families don't even know that I'm praying for them.
Right.
They know. Most everybody knows now. But they just don't. They don't. I mean, he prayed.
Yeah.
But I give you an example.
Not a concept.
Yeah. I give you an example of how it works. I had I called to cook for engagement. Someone want to people I would cook for, Catholic family, son was getting engaged Saturday. So she called and said, "Hey, could you cook a big gumbo for us to after the engagement celebration?" I didn't. Wait, let me back up. I normally cook a gumbo for this family every year around Christmas for their daughter's birthday,
Okay.
and because that's where she requests for her birthday. I just assumed it was for her birthday because it's in December.
Yeah.
Well, when we're texting back and forth on Saturday morning, she said it was an engagement party. I said, "Oh, it's an engagement party."
Yeah.
So who engaged my son? I said, "What is their names?" And so she told me their names. I said, "Okay, I'm going to pray specifically for them and their engagement right now while I'm cooking the gumbo. And I'll do a rosary and a Divine Mercy Chaplain." And you know how you can tell when people are
Yeah.
texting,
Right.
you can see the little,
Yeah.
and I could see that. So I see like, okay, either she's thinking or she's fixing to respond. And she was just blown away. Like,
Yeah.
that is so thoughtful.
Yeah.
And she knew that I prayed, but she didn't know how specifically I did it.
Correct.
But for me, I know that I'm doing the right thing that God called me to do, because who else would be praying for other people's
Yeah.
engagements?
That's right.
And God calls me to do that. He don't call.
Yeah.
He may not necessarily call
Right.
you
Exactly.
to do that.
No, exactly. That's your mission.
But this is how I
How your gifts.
reaffirm
Yeah.
to myself and to God that, okay, God, you're the focus,
Yeah.
and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if I do all this in the right way,
Yeah.
it's going to be, they're going to love the food,
Yeah.
and it's going to be something they remember.
Yeah.
And you know, you build these low intentional spiritual relationships, I guess you would call it.
100%. And as I'm thinking, you like cooking for the moms and the families, like that's the domestic church. Like you're helping the unity and the culture of the domestic church, which is one of the most important areas of our faith. So like when I'm seeing that, like you helping the mental fortitude of the mom and the husband doing that once or twice a week.
And
you know what I mean? Like you're part of their family in a way. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna say this without sounding pretentious, but you know, people know I live my faith. It's obvious the way I live my faith.
Yeah.
I don't hide it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Wear it on your
not
sleeve.
talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always looking for
Yeah.
an opportunity to share faith, to talk about God, to talk about the Holy Spirit, and organically it happens. These moms know that.
Yeah.
They know that how I live. And so I catch myself in conversations with these. They come in to pick up,
Yeah.
and then I'll pick up on something they say, and then it leads to faith, and then, you know, next thing you know, we done had a 15-minute conversation about something very deep.
Correct.
When it comes to faith.
Yeah.
And then they go off, and then later that night you'll get a text like, "Man, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I really needed that today." And that's not something that I'm doing. That's the Holy Spirit working through me.
That's correct. Dude.
He's given me the ability to see and hear things that they're saying and doing.
Yeah.
To give me, okay, this is an opportunity for you to show them.
Show me. Yeah.
Show them me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I love the cooking part of it.
Yeah, but it's the whole community.
It's the whole community part of it. It's how you put it all together.
Yeah.
And these kids, you know, that eat my food, you know,
I know that excites you.
It does.
I know.
It does.
Any cook, when they can see someone light up on their food, that's going to make you feel fulfilling.
Like, they'll come to, "Oh, I'm so excited. This is my favorite," you know? That makes you feel good.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, man, I want to kind of also talk about something that's a little bit more personal to you and kind of maybe, because you kind of mentioned last time we had dinner and whatnot. You talked about you and your relationship with your dad. You know, I know that was a big thing growing up for you. And I want to ask, as you were sharing that, do you think that had anything, kind of explain that relationship, and that you think that had anything to do with your stint of drinking a little bit? Or
Absolutely.
Or do you think it was the divorce? Whatever, you know what I mean?
I think I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but I saw myself doing what my dad did when he was stressed out, because my dad was in business for himself in my early years.
All right. Okay.
And I could correlate a lot of things that come from it. And look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I look like my dad, and I got a lot of my dad's demeanor. I really do.
Yeah.
And yeah, me and my dad's relationship has never been really a father-son relationship
Yeah.
like most fathers and sons
Yeah.
look up to their dad. Because he drank a lot when, he was very, he's always been an aggressive
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
And
Strong.
then
Yeah.
I graduated high school and I moved away. And
Got you.
we never really had
Yeah. That day-to-day interaction.
no. And
Yeah.
so we just kind of drew further and further apart. I come home and he was in full blown divorce from my mom, just
Oh,
married to
wow.
another woman, just complete different
Yeah.
dynamic. Well, fast forward to today, my dad is in very poor health.
Yeah.
Uh, and I hadn't even shared this with you since the last time we talked. So my dad lives in Springfield,
Yeah.
Louisiana, which is on the other side of Baton Rouge. And he was in Baton Rouge. And when they decided to move out there, me and my little sister, my little sister lives in Tibbetts, we're like,
Yeah.
move closer to someone.
Right.
Yeah. Well, my stepmom was helping take care. My dad's had a long history of heart issues.
Yeah.
He don't drink anymore, but it has taken a toll on a lot. A lot has correlated to where he's at.
Yeah.
So my stepmom was helping taking care of, keep track of all his medicines, and
Yeah.
she had a massive stroke about a month ago, and so she can no longer
Take care.
take care of him, and he really can't take care of himself, and he's starting to have some memory issues, and he's starting to go down that path,
Oh, wow.
and so there, I'm here. My little sister's in Thibodeau, and now God is saying, okay,
It's kind of wild. Yeah.
uh, you got a father that, because
Yeah.
I'll even back up a little bit more. My oldest son had a business idea, which would involve my son, my younger son, and me. We're looking at this business plan, and it was all designed around a business plan in Florida. And so we actually had a family meeting about 4 months ago, 3.5 months ago, with all the kids, and said, okay, this is what it looks like. We're probably going to just sell everything here in Lafayette, and we're going to move to Florida, and we're going to start this business.
Oh.
That way I could work with my two boys
Yeah.
and kind of mentor them into this
their
business world.
Yeah.
Then my dad has an issue. He goes in the hospital.
Oh, wow.
My stepmom has a stroke. And then, so now, like, I tell you how
Oh,
crazy
wow.
it is.
Now I understand it. Yeah.
Tell you how crazy. We never even considered aging parents because me and Jamie are so really not connected to our parents like
Yeah.
the average family
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Because Jamie's mom and dad are divorced,
Yeah.
alcohol problems. My mom and dad are divorced, had alcohol problems in our family. And so the unity of a family never is like, we really don't get
Yeah.
together for Christmas and Thanksgiving and like a lot of people do.
I understand.
It's
Yeah.
our core little family, me, Jamie, and the two kids, or the three kids
Yeah.
actually. So we were looking at ourselves. How do we keep this core going? Well, now I got to no, I mean, I can't leave this burden on my little sister,
That's right.
And so now God is calling me to be more than just a son. And how do you become a caregiver or someone who wants to be a caregiver
That's the key word. Yeah.
or needs to be a caregiver and we really don't have a relationship like that.
That's right.
And you start getting into some really intimate things. I mean, personal, financial business and stuff like that. And one thing that I'm gonna share, and I've shared this before, and
Yeah.
he'll probably be upset with me, but my dad claims that I have no faith,
Yeah.
and we've gotten into some pretty serious spats.
Yeah.
During one of his recent hospital stays.
Yeah.
He looked me dead in the eye and says, "Where are you getting all this faith stuff from?" He said, "Because I didn't give you that." And I said, "You're right, Dad. You didn't give it to me, but your mama did." And he got really quiet.
Wow.
And he's like, and he knows that I do this stuff with Legatus, and he's always asking questions. And,
Yeah.
It's like he's aggravated. And he wants to make sure that sometimes I feel like he wants to make sure that I'm not saying anything about our family or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just a real weird situation.
Yeah.
And recently we were at a doctor's appointment. I drove to Baton Rouge to bring him to a doctor's appointment. And he'd done some things in the midst of the appointments.
Yeah.
And I'm on the way home and I'm like,
You want Praying, yeah, not to lose it on him.
Exactly. But how do I help him change?
Yeah.
How do I bring him closer to Christ? And I actually called my wife. I said, look, being with my dad all day today made me realize how much I am like him. Because
Yeah.
you live your life.
Yeah.
There's just certain things you can't take out of your DNA, right?
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
I have a lot of my
Yeah,
dad's
yeah.
DNA. And I'm going to tell you, it's hard
People
to...
change, but their personality. I heard this. There was a quote that said, "People change, but their personality never really changes. They learn how to manage the personality God gave them."
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense
That
to you, but
makes a lot of sense to
you know
me.
what I mean.
But so
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it really shook me, because like
Yeah.
I still got work to do on myself.
Yeah.
You know, I can be hard to get along with sometimes. I
Yeah.
seen the way he reacted in certain scenarios. Like, my wife told me I reacted like that, but
She
I
never
never
saw
saw
it.
it. But I saw it through him. I was like,
Wow.
so it's helping me,
Wow.
but I'm also helping him to some degree.
That's right.
And I told this to some dear friends. We were in Florida recently, and I said, I feel like God has given me this cross, and my only hope in carrying this cross is to give him help him be as comfortable as he
100%.
can.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for me to do, because there's a mental aspect that I can't turn off.
Yeah.
My little sister doesn't understand it,
Yeah.
because she didn't live what I lived, because
Correct.
she lived something completely different, and she was a little girl and I was a boy.
It's a
And
real
so she
thing.
has a hard time comprehending why I feel and why I act the way I do towards dad,
Yeah.
and why I'm just not willing
To bend a little bit.
to go all in like she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But my hope and my prayer is that I give him at least an opportunity to get to heaven.
Yeah.
I give him, I help him get to the point where maybe he wants to make a good confession before he dies.
Yeah.
That's my prayer. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that's my cross. And so personally, I'm trying to deal with
Those emotions.
those emotions. And one thing I'll share with you in regards to that, and I think I've shared with you this, I have a hard time with rejection, and especially from men. And
Yeah.
because it's just a lot of things that have culminated over the years.
Yeah.
And people always want me to be, oh, you ought to come sell for me. You can be a good salesman. I can't be a salesman, because I can't handle no. I can't handle rejection.
Yeah.
And especially if it's brought to me in a manner where I feel like they're coming at me.
Yeah. Like there's no bedside manner to it.
Right.
You
Because
know?
I react.
Yeah.
I react like my dad reacts.
Right.
And it's always not in the right way.
Right.
And so because of that, I feel like I lack self-confidence too, even though
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But those things, I mean, that stuff is always playing on me.
And I think you hanging out with your dad's gonna help a lot of that. I think for both of y'all, you know what I mean. I think
My
it's gonna,
prayer is that,
you know, kind of gives you a mirror, because if you never, you know, you kind of see a mirror of yourself through him in a way.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? So
No,
like some blind, we all have blind spots, right? So maybe being around him is gonna help you with these blind spots of you just,
Absolutely.
you know, just not having.
absolutely.
Wow,
So, yeah.
it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And I'm going to tell you, so, and it's kind of, it's helped me, but it's stunned me.
Correct.
So I'm going to tell you how it's stunned me. When the business, I lost the trucking contract with this big company in Houston. The guy that turned against me and the other partner
Yeah.
is actually my little girl's godfather.
Oh wow.
He was the best man in my wedding. And today we don't talk.
Oh wow.
That's his choice, not my choice.
Yeah.
I think the faith part aspect of it.
Don't understand it yet. Yeah.
So when that happened, that sent me emotionally into this rejection
Yeah.
from a man, somebody I
Yeah.
loved and adored, somebody I still love. I can't say I still adore him, but I still love him because
Yeah. 100%.
at his heart,
Yeah, 100%. You know who he is. Yeah, at his heart, you know who he is.
his heart is good. It's just that it's corrupted in the wrong places right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, fast forward, keep going. I decided out the blue, I'm going to take this job in Grand Coteau. with the Jesuits to help open up the retreat
Yeah.
center. First job I actually really worked for anyone, and since
Oh yeah.
right out of high school.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've only really worked for myself, been in total control, call all the shots. And what I thought I was going to do and what it turned into be was two completely different things.
Yeah.
And the director of the retreat center, who is a holy, great guy,
Yeah.
we just could not mesh personalities. And both A personalities, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't happy. But some of the things, the way he handled certain things, messed with me emotionally. Again, it was like
It was
another
triggering.
man.
It was triggering the other stuff you went through. Yeah.
Exactly. And then and I'm thinking, this is the church. I'm going to work. I'm going to work for the church, and I shouldn't be feeling like this.
Yeah.
And I still have some brokenness with that, even though I left on my terms.
Right.
You know. but my point is that I keep seeing these things happen with men.
Yeah.
And rejection, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm really working through that to try to.
That's real, man.
How do I make sure that my kids understand how life is supposed to be, and you can't let this.
Correct.
One of my issues is I didn't start dealing with all of this emotional stuff until around 2013, 2014, 2015.
So you're still fresh in this, man.
Yeah. And so, you know, I'm a work in progress, and my kids are still young. I mean, 33 to 20. And so I'm trying to form them into the best way I can so they could be successful in their ultimate marriage or whatever, because the last thing I want them to do is be divorced.
That's right.
You know, get married and not have the tools that you need to have a successful marriage.
100%.
But what I'm trying to instill in them mostly is that it's got to be faith first.
Yeah.
Then everything else builds off of that. And two of them are getting it. one of them is not.
As always, you got to. Yep.
But I will say
keep you
this.
on your knees.
I will say this. My oldest challenged me. And he'll probably listen to this, and I'm okay with him hearing this because I want him to hear it. He challenged me on faith.
It's awesome.
Christmas Eve last year at dinner, and we had all been drinking wine. We had Charlie G's. And it just didn't come across well.
Right.
And I just felt it. I was hurt.
Yeah.
That he would bring that up at Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But I guess he felt like he had to say it, and he did.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he sold a business. He right now he's traveling. He's in Korea right now.
Oh, good for him.
He's working his way to China for Christmas. That's where he's going to be, in China for Christmas.
Wow.
But before he left, me and Jamie pray for all the kids.
Yeah.
All the time. But before he left, I was praying for him about, and I told him, I said, just try, when you're traveling through Europe, just try to see the beauty of Christianity through the Catholic Church, through the basilicas, the cathedrals.
Yeah.
If all you do is get that, then that's going to be, I think that'd be.
Yeah, it'd be a win. Like, in the sense of like, you open your heart up a little more.
He left in September.
Oh, wow, it's been rolling.
And he was going to Ireland first. And so I'm at daily mass, and I'm praying real hard. Man, I got my head down praying real hard, like, Lord, please, just let him see the beauty. Let him see the beauty. Well, I kid you not. About 2 hours later, one of the first pictures I get, he's in a basilica in Ireland. And he's like, look, Dad, look how beautiful it is. And I'm like, so I text Father Schumacher.
He's so excited.
Because me and Father Schumacher have a very unique, long relationship from when he was actually all the way back as a seminarian. And he said, don't stop. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be kind of hard for me to see Christmas
but
in China, but
it's all good.
But my point is so we're working towards that,
And you always got to remember, he no matter what he does or what he says, he has a little bit of you in him. Right. So, you know, if the Lord can, touch you, it can most easily touch him in the right time, whenever he's.
It's got to be the right time.
Yeah, whenever he's ready.
And I think he's been living in a backpack 6 months or 8 months out the year for the last 2 years, and
That's awesome.
I don't know what it is, but something about having a commitment.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's something that happened because of
The
me
experiences.
divorcing his
Yeah.
mom and, her having a
Yeah.
couple of husbands or
Yeah. Yeah.
live-in boyfriends, uh,
Yeah.
just that commitment. Because
100%.
so anyway, so
I,
my prayer is that I can show him through the
yeah.
way I live my life,
Yeah.
not necessarily what I say. Because I understood one thing Jamie made me understand is what you telling him is probably driving him further away. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to tell him, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just try to live it so he can see it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think kind of like you were saying to your sister, his life experiences are probably different than your two youngest,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So he's
Right.
processing things in a different speed and a different frame
Right.
than your other two kids or his sister and his brother. And no, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, and I went wrong with him because when business was good and flowing,
Yeah.
I tried to replace me not being there with buying him stuff and giving him lots of money.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that
Yeah.
probably hurt him more than it helped him.
Yeah.
And now we're in a situation where I just can't give like I used to give.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very candid. I mean, if we're gonna be candid, let's be candid, right?
Hey, man.
The money that I had, I still have some money, but it's
Of
not.
course. Yeah.
People have this perception. Well, when you retire, you got a lot of money. Well, not everybody retires with a lot of money.
Yeah.
I have done better than some,
Right.
but I am not rich by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But it's hard to live. I mean, when you can, I went from not saying no to anything to now, like, can we afford this?
You're right.
Because we have to pick and choose how we spend our money because
Yeah.
I'm just 57.
Right. You might have another 40 years, 30 years.
My retirement money for another 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And Social Security is,
Yeah.
so my point is,
Yeah.
it's been a difficult
Transition for you.
It has been a difficult
Yeah.
transition. The financial aspect of it.
Yeah. On top of spiritual family dynamics.
It's been a total whirlwind.
Yeah.
But I feel like that my faith has kept me centered and on the ground,
Yeah.
and hadn't let it just blow me out.
I could tell you this from when I met you 7 years ago. I only know you through the lens of like kind of faith and business at the same time, but they were one and the same. They were intertwined. You know what I mean? From the jump. So if that it makes you. I mean, not to toot your horn or anything, but like that's all I know you as a man of God that's trying to give back to the community the best way that he can through serving by cooking or by helping people through like understanding finances and networking.
Right.
So, I mean, you're doing it, my man. You know what I mean?
Well,
You're doing
trying.
it.
I'm
You know,
trying.
I do want to say that. I want to affirm you in that. You're doing it.
My deal is this. When I don't have a whole lot to offer people other than true sincerity and true caring for people.
Yeah.
And I try to find people. That's one reason why I love teaming these ACT retreats.
Yeah.
I love going on these retreats, team retreats, finding people that I could see similarities in them to me and to my upbringing, and how can I help them navigate some of this? Because they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Everybody goes on these retreats. They're looking for something.
That's right.
Whether it's faith or just
something, community, love, being seen, something.
And so I try to isolate who I can connect with and make that connection and try to impact their life in a way that's meaningful and lasting.
Yeah.
And it may be just talking about my dedication to the rosary, and maybe talking about my struggles with alcohol, and maybe talking about going from successful to being significant. And when I mean being significant, not significant monetarily, but significant like how you truly impacting the world around you in small ways that can lead to bigger things.
I love that. Went from being successful to being significant.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. Based upon a book called
Okay.
From Success to Significance.
Okay.
It's was written by Bob Buford, who started the Halftime Institute. I think we talked about that. Have we talked about that before?
I might have.
That was a big impact on me doing where I'm at today too.
Yeah.
And I if you want, I'll
let's
share
go.
on that.
Let's kind of let's close up with that.
Yeah. So when I was discerning retirement, what I'm going to do next, a friend of mine who was a Legatus member from Michigan said, "Hey, why are you not going through the Halftime Institute?" We were both introduced to halftime at the same time at a men's retreat that Legatus put on.
Okay.
And the truth is, I had looked at it, but it was expensive. This was 7 years ago. It was $25,000 back then for a year.
Wow.
And you met virtually once a month, virtually every other month, and then virtually once a month, and you met in person every other month. And he's like, if you want to go through that, I'll sponsor you. And I had always been the giver, not the receiver. And I couldn't comprehend that. Somebody giving me a $25,000 gift. And lo and behold, I'm talking to another guy who's not Catholic, who I'd met. We took our daughters on a Christian girls retreat together. We met. We didn't know each other. He was from Alabama. We just hit it off. Well, we kept in touch after this retreat with our girls. I still stay in touch with him today. And through one of our conversations, he was like, "I'm going through the Halftime Institute." I was like, "Oh, really?" And so I told him that I was offered that gift.
Yeah.
He's like, "Fat cat, take it." I was like, he said, God is giving you an opportunity. Quit, take yourself out the way and take it as a gift. The man thinks that much of you. Take it. So I did. Went through the program, and it helped me really discern, is cooking my path from success to significance? And the answer is yes.
Amen. I can affirm
the answer is yes. And when I mentioned we were in Florida just a couple of weeks ago, we were with my cohorts. We had 11 people or 13 people go through the program together, men and women from around the country. 7 of us have stayed together. Wow. And so we meet once a year as a reunion with our wives. And when I say people from all walks of life, we had a 2-star general. We had a pastor of a mega church in Waco. We had a manager of a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. I mean, we had one of the senior partners from Edward Jones. I mean, we had a lot of really big hitting people in this.
Correct, yeah.
And what was unique is that, all walks of life.
Yeah, different ways, different experiences.
You would never know anything about their personal lives or what they accomplished, because everything that we do together is about our faith and how is our faith going to take us to impact the kingdom. And it's awesome. It's fun to watch how some people went through the halftime program and their path has changed over the last 7 years. And then you got people like me that my path has really not changed. Yeah. And so it's a really unique perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. As you kind of explaining your journey, your experiences. The Bible says, what it says, it's hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. But the caveat to that, God uses wealthy or providential people like that all throughout the Bible to push his mission through and push his message through. But with all that being said, I think something you're highlighting, like no matter how, blessed you are in the sense of finances or whatever, network, resources, the number one thing has to be your faith. Even more so. Maybe the more successful you are in that, even more your faith has to be number one to kind of keep you centered and, centered, focused on the right things and just surrounded by the right people.
Yeah. And, the devil will use all of this stuff.
Yeah, the shiny objects,
right? Yeah. To creep into your world. But I will also say this. The devil is always looking to creep in your world. Even if you live in this life that you think is protecting you from that, he will find a crack in every crevice to come at you. And I say this all the time. I cook a lot. And I try to regulate it because I don't want to lose my joy. Yeah. But I think sometimes one reason why I cook so much is because I'm scared of the idle time. Because in those idle times when I'm not cooking, like I said earlier, all my friends are working.
Yeah.
When I was in business, I didn't have a hobby. I didn't play golf. Yeah. In fact, I don't hate a whole lot of things, but I hate golf.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that already.
And so my hobby was cooking.
Yeah.
And so my point is that you get these idle times. So in the middle of it might be a Tuesday or Wednesday with nothing to do, the devil just
Correct.
come and get you.
I think there's a saint or a philosopher that says that the idle mind is the devil's playground.
Exactly.
You know, he kind of goes sets his place.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess as we close up, I always ask a guest a couple of questions, random questions that just come to me.
Okay.
Answer them if you can. Don't answer if you won't. Don't. I always want to ask someone this question that was successful. You can answer it if you don't. What's the most you've ever brought in financially in 1 year as a businessman? If you don't mind.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but
No, you don't have to be.
yeah, I mean, $7 million,
$7 million.
$8 million in revenue.
Oh,
Yeah.
in revenue. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. What is?
But is that the question?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly the question.
Yeah, and I'll just say, my motto: we were running at about 50% profit.
Okay. That's
Margin.
good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've never got to ask him that question because I've always been scared to
Right.
ask him, but I know me and your relationship, so it was cool. And the next question is, what is your favorite Bible verse or like motto you're living by now or have lived by the last few years?
So I'm not a big Bible verse person,
Okay.
but I live by this prayer. I say live by this prayer. This prayer is a prayer that I
Go to.
go to all the time.
Okay.
I learned it while I was on a silent retreat at Manresa, and I say this prayer multiple times a day. And when I find myself in turmoil, I say it. When I find myself in Thanksgiving, I say it. I say it as a prayer after communion, and it goes like this: Christ be near me at either hand. Christ be behind me, before me stand. Christ be with me wherever I go. Christ be around, above, and below. Christ be in my heart and mind. Christ be in my soul and shrine. Christ control my wayward heart. Christ be near me and never depart.
Amen.
And so I've taught that to my youngest son, Austin, too. And so that's kind of like our,
Yeah.
but and sometimes it's just Christ be near me at either hand. Christ behind me before I stand. I mean, I just, it brings me back. So I really don't have a Bible verse.
Yeah.
But that's something I wish I could do more.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a reader.
You really?
I'm not a reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a reader. That's all I do. Probably a lot, 10, 12 hours, even more than that, probably a week.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Craig, thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
This has been a pleasure. It's been a gift. I was excited to have you this morning. I know you moved some things around to be here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell any of the younger generation before we depart?
I'll leave this with people all the time. You know, you're going to go through some things in life, whether it's a divorce, financial situation, whatever. Just don't settle. Don't settle for what's the easy way out. You need to be Christ-centered and let the Holy Spirit guide you to where you're going to settle. Don't just, I tell this to people who go through the divorce all the time. I see it, especially in the day and age. I was just talking to a friend of mine. She's in her 50s. She's divorced, looking to, she wants to be married again. And, you know, she's dating different people. And I just told her, just don't settle. God has someone for you, but you got to be looking in the right places. And your eyes and your ears got to be ready for it. And it may be in the most unsuspecting place, but just don't settle. So to young people, don't settle because you feel like it's the easy way out, or it's if you got something in your heart,
hold on to it.
Hold on to it.
And all the people said,
yeah, amen.
Amen. Well, thank you so much, my man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Okay.